Good evening. This is a lot of fun because it's back-to-back episodes. So I just got back, off of another episode with the Sabino Sabercats. But I wanted to bring a friend of mine on. She's been coaching out in New Mexico for a bit. She's native of New Mexico, and she even played college ball in New Mexico. But I want to bring on Coach Micaela Medina. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm grand. I'm here. It's the new year.
Heck yeah.
I'm trying to build this podcast, this platform, just to be just a resource, of information for student athletes, parents, and coaches. So again, welcome. Thank you for taking your time out of your daily schedule to join us.
Cool. Yeah, of course. I'm glad to be here. I love this little setup you got going on here. I really wish we were out there on the court by the beach, though.
No, absolutely. And the funny thing is, people ask me, they're like, "Is that even real?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, that's at a
Yeah.
park, Swansea Beach Park, out in Kaava on the north shore of Oahu." And my cousin and I, we used to have some really good night runs over there,
Heck
right on
yeah.
the
How
beach, and
fun.
super cool. I'm thinking one day, a friend of mine, we were talking about trying to do like an outdoor event out there. I think would be pretty cool. So I'm trying to
Heck
figure that
yeah.
out. But so let's talk about your journey, coach, in basketball, like from start to present day.
Yeah, for sure. So my dad's a was a head basketball coach since I was in the womb. So I was in the gym since before I could walk and crawl and talk. So some of my probably favorite memories growing up in the gym was going to my dad's practices and having a specific seat behind the bench at all the games. He'd take me with him on the bus. We would travel. I'd get to go into the locker room. And so that was a lot of fun. And it wasn't until about third grade I started playing competitively. We would travel. I was on an AAU team. We'd go to Arizona, Colorado, California. And I remember our first year, we would just get swamped, man. We would get killed every single game. But I still loved it. I just loved the game, and we got better. And um, I ended up graduating at Del Norte High School, where I
Okay.
got some pretty good awards there, some basketball awards. But I think my best accomplishment was getting a basketball scholarship. So to go play Division II basketball at Western New Mexico University in Silver City. And my dad really was a big part of that because my dad was my high school coach as well. So, he really helped me get my name out there. And back then, this is funny. I was actually talking to one of my players the other day because I was helping her make a highlight film. And I told her I had to put it on a DVD. My dad made it
That
on
was
a
me.
DVD, and we had to mail it out.
Yeah.
You mail it out, and then you email them and say, "Hey, check your mail." And then luckily I got a hit. I guess the coach must have really liked what she saw, and she recruited me. And unfortunately, I only got to play 1 year because I fractured a bone in my foot, and I got surgery, and it was just a lot to come back. And especially at that level, that high level that you play, and what the workouts that you do to your body, I just couldn't recover. And so I did the next best thing, and I got into coaching. And um, it was a hard transition at first because just playing hoops was all I knew. And so I went through a little bit of a depression because I was so hurt that that part of my life was done. But I found the love of the game again in coaching. It's not like playing, but it is a very, very close second. And I've just been enjoying um, that coaching life ever since. I coached my first 2 years at Cobra High School. It's a little school in Bayard, New Mexico by Silver City where I graduated. So that's kind of where I got that job. And then I transferred. I got another position at Valencia High School, and I was out there for 5 years, and so that's basically been my basketball journey.
What an amazing journey. I mean, I can relate to having, an injury. Like,
Mhm.
I got a really bad back injury, like towards the end of my sophomore year, and I had to sit out all of my junior year. And, I had some smaller schools, showing interest in me from the DVDs I had to burn and mail out.
Yeah.
And, I remember that. I remember my computer at home would act up and it would burn like halfway, and then it would spit the DVD out. And I'm like, "No, it's not done." I have to redo it all over
Exactly.
again, and then, like, make the speed of the copy, the actual burn slower. So, I remember that one time I had to do that, burning the DVD took me, like, a couple hours, and I know my dad was mad. He's like, "I gotta get on the computer." I'm like, "Dad, I gotta wait for the thing to get done burning." He's like, "Well, I gotta go and check this and check that." I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Sorry, Dad." But,
We need to use the
um,
phone, get off the internet.
oh, those were the days, AOL dial-up days. Like these kids nowadays, they don't understand how easy
Mhm.
they got it.
No, they really don't.
They got so much technology, and it's just amazing. So, coach, what position did you play in college?
In college, what they referred to me as was the 3-point specialist. I just let it fly from anywhere on the court. Um, so in high school, I played a lot more of the point guard, played the one position, and then once I got to college, obviously I wasn't the fastest anymore. I wasn't quite the strongest anymore. So position moved, but I love shooting, and so that's basically what I wanted anyway. So I played that 3-point specialist. Kind of finding those gaps and finding that area after people drive so that they can dish it to you and just let it fly. That was basically my role on the team.
No, and that's awesome that you're able to share that, because like parents and players, they kind of get locked in, and they kind of think that this is what I should be playing, opposed to what the
Right,
coach really sees and what they need you to play.
right.
And it's just like the discussion I always have about how kids and parents get caught up with levels. I mean, you played at a D2. To be honest, a lot of those athletes that play at D2 either played at D1 or could play at Division 1. And it's a high, no matter what level it is. I mean, I go to Christian college Division 3 games,
Mm-hmm.
watching men's and women's, they're really skilled and really good.
Very.
So, for you to play, you're an alpha athlete to play at the next level. I mean, I wish I could. I couldn't, due to my injuries, but still, you have to be the top of the best to play at the next
Oh
level.
yeah. Oh yeah. And you're used to being the best player either in your district or on your team or even in the state, and then you move on to the college level and you ain't the best anymore, sweetheart. You're not the best no
Definitely
more.
not.
Mm-mm. So
Like
it's it's a you realize like, okay, I'm not as good as I maybe anticipated, and so you really got to put the work in to be able to compete at that level.
no, absolutely. Like I had a cousin play football and run track at the next level, and we all considered him fast. He was fast.
Uh-huh.
But when he got there, he was like, "I'm slow." Like he's like,
Mhm.
"There's athletes that are like bigger than me and they're fast." And I just said, "Well, that's what you're at the top level for college, so you're gonna get the best of the best. So you just have to get faster, and get stronger." And
Right. And
so
I think the biggest thing too is everybody has such a huge offensive mindset, and what you don't realize when you get to the college level, if you can't defend, you will not play. If you cannot defend on the ball, off the ball, if you can't close out, if you can't box out, if you're not big enough to get in there with those 6'1", 6'2" bodies, you're not going to play.
I totally agree. I mean, I had another young lady who was on my podcast, Justice Kekaoha. out of Iolani High School out in Hawaii. And I her mom and my sister were club teammates from like middle school all the way through high school. And so our families are kind of close. Like we knew each other growing up. But one thing that I really liked about her game is her ability to defend, even against bigger, stronger players. She's just probably one of the best defenders on the West Coast, in my opinion, as a freshman. And that's what keeps her in her game. Like the
Yep.
coach does not, she rarely comes out of the game because she defends. And if her shot's not dropping, she's dishing off, but it's because her ability to defend is why she stays in the game. So her mom and dad did a great job and teaching her that at a young age. They said, hey, if you're not defending, you're coming out. You
Mhm.
have to play defense. So I'm glad you're bringing that up because it's just refreshing that I'm not the only one, preaching that out there. Hey, you got to defend, and some kids, I don't need to. I'm like, no, you have
Oh,
to.
yeah. Yeah, I had to learn the hard way, I sat the bench for a lot my freshman year. It was an awakening for me. I was like, "What the heck is going on? Like, I'm the best shooter on this team. Why am I not playing?" Because I couldn't defend the way some of the other girls could defend. And it was an awakening for me. So I had to start getting in the gym, in the weight room, and start working on my footwork and just get lighter on my feet. And I wish I would have known before I got to the college, and I wish I would have known more so I could have focused more on my defensive game. So that's why I preach it so much now, because don't make the same mistake I did. Learn from what I learned.
Absolutely. That's just great advice. I mean, since we're already getting into advice besides defense, I mean, what other advice could you give to aspiring, college athletes?
So there's a couple of things. For sure, you have to be willing to get in extra reps on your own. If you're not getting in reps on your own or with another trainer or shoot with your sibling or your dad or just getting in the gym and getting shots up and working on your handles and working on your footwork, if you're not willing to put in that extra reps, either you're not going to get recruited or you're not going to play. That's just how it is. So you have to be willing to put in that extra work. And another big thing for me is that I really want to preach to all those student athletes out there is don't neglect your mental health. When you get to the college level, I can almost 100% say that every college has free counselors, and you're going to be, going to a much larger school. You're going to be leaving your family. You're going to be leaving your friends, and you're going to be a small little fish in a big pond, or in the ocean now, rather. And my advice is to go talk to somebody, because it does do a lot to not only your physical, but it does a lot to your mental. And so you can't neglect that part of it. And a lot of the best athletes out there have one of the strongest mentals because they've learned through the game of basketball, or they get help. They get help from there's confidence coaches out there who can help build that confidence and teach you, that cognitive behavioral therapy that'll help you with your mind game. And a lot of people don't realize how big of an asset it is to have your mind right to be able to hoop. So I would say definitely don't neglect your mental health. Um, and then lastly, invest in your education. Find a place where not only you can hoop, but where you can um, get a major that you can use after you graduate. I can't tell you how many times I know, and my sister's actually one of them. She ended up getting her degree. She played 4 years at Colorado, Western State, Colorado, and they didn't really have anything for her to get her major in. And so she just kind of picked a random major, and she kind of ended up having to pay for it because she had to go back to school to get a different major. And so if she would have maybe just taken a little bit longer and being more efficient in choosing a college that she would have a major that she would actually use after she graduates, I think it would have benefited her a lot more. And so I usually tell athletes, like, make sure that you're going to a school where you can invest in your education, because one day, unfortunately, this game stops. Very rarely, do these athletes continue to play professional. I'm all for that too, but it's a low percentage. So you have to invest in your education. So that's a that's a big thing that I give advice to.
No, I appreciate it, because you being a former college athlete, as well as being a female, is just great for my audience to hear that. That's very valuable advice. And so, now, coach, what do you do now basketball wise?
So I did take a break from being a head coach so that I could take my own advice and complete my education and focus on that. I will be graduating with my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, and so I had to begin my internship this semester, these past 2 semesters, and it takes up a lot of my time. I see at least 10 to 12 clients a week, and so I knew doing that on top of coaching, being a head coach, was going to be a lot on my plate. So I decided to take a step back from being a head coach, but I'm too much of a gym rat. I couldn't stay away from the gym. So I've jumped on places and I'm like volunteering. I help this coach over here. He's like, I need your help scouting. Got you. Send him these detailed scouting reports. And I'm just able to just kind of enjoy and watch the game. And then a couple people have reached out, hey, do you do one-on-one sessions? And I'm like, yeah, I have availability these days. And so I've been seeing at least 4 girls, doing some one-on-ones with them. Um, and so that's kind of been how I've been staying in the game. And honestly, I'm enjoying it. I'm happy right now. And I'll be back once I'm done. I'm kind of a free agent right now. So I'm waiting to see, what positions become open, and we'll kind of go from there.
No, that's just amazing, coach, that you're still involved with the game. I mean, I can relate to it. My coaching career kind of came to a halt, and life happened, and I was kind of like stepping back, trying to figure out, what I was going to do with my career, outside of coaching. And eventually, what all coaches do, at the professional and college level, when their career is kind of at a crossroads, is they take a media job. And this is where I've been, and it's been a lot of fun, and I just been blessed. It's so much fun being able to go to the gym,
Yeah.
scout athletes,
Hmm.
share that information with college coaches, give some good valuable advice to parents and kids about the recruiting process.
Yeah,
So the
for sure.
last part, coach, I want to go a little bit more fun because it's been really, really serious. So or who is your favorite basketball player?
Okay, okay. I'm gonna give you a male and a female.
That
So,
works. Perfect.
okay, male, I gotta go. I mean, I don't know if you noticed what hoodie I'm wearing, but
Dang, you're a
he's my
Celtics
king.
fan?
Oh, die hard, die hard. Um, Larry Bird. Larry
Oh,
Bird
yeah.
is one of my favorite players. I just love the swag he has on the court. Like, it's just effortless. It looks like effortless confidence, right? And people call him cocky and all this, but I love it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
He
that
was
stuff.
he was good. He was before his time.
Yeah, yeah, he puts in the work for it. So that's really why I love Larry the Legend. And then for females, I'd be crazy not to say Caitlin Clark right now. Man, that girl's
Ooh.
a walking bucket. She is putting so much excitement to women's basketball right now. I can't tell you how many men I've talked to, because unfortunately, a lot of men think that women's basketball is boring. Let's be honest.
No,
That's
it's
what they
not.
say. And it's not. And I've heard a couple of guys say, "Oh, well, once she gets to the WNBA, I'm getting a jersey." Like, she's just bringing that excitement. Like, they're finally realizing, okay, women's basketball actually is all that. Yes, it is. And she's bringing that excitement to the game. So, Caitlin Clark, man, she's just a legend already.
I have to agree. I mean, I remember watching her last year, and I was taken back. I was like, this girl can hoop. Like
Mhm.
she's just like a pure scorer and super crafty and nasty with it. So super exciting.
And I love
to
the way
watch
she
play.
carries yeah, I love the way she carries herself on the court too. She's confident, but she's not too confident, and she shares the basketball. You can just tell she's just I would love to play next to her. I would love to, coach her. She's just an awesome athlete.
Well, and that's my goal. I pray that I can find the next one, and scout and give that kid some pub, on
Heck
my
yeah.
platform.
They're out there. They're out there.
Oh, definitely are. I mean, being able to kind of, scout across the country. I mean, I'm just kind of inflating to the West Coast and making my way around. I mean, I got friends in New Mexico, and I'm hoping, as my platform grows and as my schedule frees up, I'm able to come out there and check out some of the best talent, in the neighboring states, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Nevada. I mean, I've been to Nevada a few times, and of course, I love California. That's like my second home,
Heck
as
yeah.
far as scouting basketball. But
Right?
coach,
Coach
I want to thank you for taking your time. I know I've been through grad school. I totally know the demand of that, and especially your internship. I mean,
Mhm.
when I was in that last semester, my internship was like, it was rough. Plus I caught COVID like during that time,
Oh, man.
and when I was finishing up my masters. And you know god bless my instructor at the time, Dr. Judge at Ball State University. For he was very, he showed a lot of grace and me handing in some of my projects late, because I told him, like, hey, I got the doctor's note. I said, I'm like, I have COVID, and I'm kind of terrified because of what they told me at the hospital. They're just kind of like, well, you got pneumonia from COVID, and
Oh,
here's
man.
here's a prescription. We hope for the best. If you get worse, come back. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? They said, stay home and drink a lot of fluids and hope that everything subsides. I was like, wow. It just kind of, because at that time it was, nobody knew what it was.
Right.
Super, super scary that I had to deal with that. But I pushed through. And again, you touched in on the mindset, having a strong mental game. And I learned to be tough from sports, playing sports. And I'm able to you know translate and implement the life skills I learned playing sports into my life, and
100%.
into different industries. So that's why I'm so just pro sports, with kids, especially team sports, because even that adversity, just it made me tougher.
Right. I agree 100%.
Well, coach, thank you again for joining me. And I know it's getting late over there. I'd like to again thank you for joining me, and I hope to have you back again.
Yeah, heck yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, you have a good night, coach.
Bye. You too.
All right, guys. So that's episode number 18 with Coach Micaela Medina, one of my good friends out there in New Mexico. Again, I want to thank all of you for your love and support. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/at GC3 Hoops. Peace.